Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a game I am walking into extraordinarily blind and intend to continue doing so. Um, I have been spoiled very, very minorly because I have watched my niece, like, go through the tutorial dungeon, skipping all cutscenes because she didn't care. They actually are labeled Rumination, so after Twitch account. Um, but yeah, um, she went through, she got to the opening, like, islands, floating islands area, whatever it is, and actually started roaming around and just building random stuff. I'll tell a couple of stories when we get there. And that's kind of it. That is the full extent of what I've been aware of in this game. So I'm walking in pretty blind. This should be good. However, I do want to share something. So some of you may or may not know that there's a guideline for a stupid Chinese game. Excuse me, West Taiwan game that's being made that has some really, really strict guidelines on what is allowed to be said during that. Now, we're not streaming that game, obviously, but just for the hell of it, just for the fun of it, I decided to do everything that this guideline says not to do. So first of all, other influencers suck, other players suck. I don't know how to use offensive humor, so I'm going to skip over that. But we're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about violence. We're going to talk about nudity. We're going to talk about feminist propaganda. We're going to talk about fetishization. We're going to use all the trigger words, and they helpfully give us a list of trigger words, which include quarantine, isolation, COVID-19. Also, China's game industry policies suck. I've been saying that for literal years. The Chinese government's opinions suck. Chinese government news sucks. There we go. And that's the full list. All right, cool. Moving on. Ahem. No, that's Western Taiwan. Bionic Punk. So we're going to keep a list. I know, of all the things. That's their list of banned items. It's just, what? I know the Chinese censorship is crazy, but what? I'm actually somewhat more familiar with Chinese censorship than I think most people are, because I follow WoW news pretty closely. And let me tell you, Blizzard has jumped through some absolute hoops over the years to get WoW into China. Like, absolutely insane requirements. Anyways, so let's go ahead and keep track of how many times our weapons break. Just like we did last time. I'm curious which one will be more. I unfortunately don't remember the exact number from last time, but I am going to be keeping track of it this time because I am very curious exactly how it's going to turn out. Of course there's a freaking download. Oh my god, of course there's. All that buildup. Okay. Little did I know. Yeah. Tangled is, so that's why nobody's been watching my streamations. That's why nobody watched the Tangled streamations, is because the kingdom in it is called Corona. It all makes sense. If only I'd known. Yes, but you're not Chinese, Ross. I need that Chinese money. Oh, who knows, little Billy. They're going to try. It's generally considered worthwhile to break into the Chinese market when it comes to entertainment because Chinese entertainment is so terrible. This is not my opinion. Chinese entertainment is so lackluster and so underdeveloped that they will eat up pretty much any game they can, especially any kind of live services game that they can keep playing repeatedly and over long periods of time. Yeah, no, the Chinese industry is actually pretty messed up. I guess we're just starting?
This strange gloom keeps getting thicker. We've been descending for a while now. These tunnels are deeper than I thought. What could be down here?
Oh, this is... Oh, that's her name! God, I've been wondering this whole time. Gameplay. Wow, that was fast. Yeah, what do we got for options here? Double invert. Sensitivity's fine. Aim with motion controls. I think we ended up having that on. 40 million. Offshore Twitch account. $40 million. Call it cash. With no taxes. Okay. Honestly, still not particularly impressive options. So... Okay. No bloom control, of course. No control rebound to speak of, other than the fact that we can make this the jump button. Well, not only inflation, I have another niece that I didn't used to have. Yeah, we have all those hearts, which is actually not true because we were missing 2.
People have been falling ill after coming into contact with the gloom drifting through these caverns. Though here it seems almost misty and not concentrated enough to harm us. We'll keep going, with it coming up from beneath Hyrule Castle. We do not know what waits below, so we need to be ready for anything. But I know I'll be okay with you, Link.
I don't know.
Solve this mystery.
I've seen the beginning of Nintendo games. We're about to get depowered to hell and back. Oh my god, you're right. Zelda is British and not evil. How often do you see that happen? Oh no, we're totally going to have a Samus moment here. Where's my review docs? There we go. So we're just going to jot down some immediate negatives. I'll look up how many negatives those are later. Oh yeah, I suppose I should actually get that. God, it's been a while. Okay, so let's get the pluses and negatives going here. There we go. Here's our review. Here's our review right here. There we go. That's better. Yep, clearly. Purple game. Purple game. Yeah, the reason I mentioned the hearts thing is because it's actually impossible to have full hearts and full stamina. And if you remember, we went with full stamina. I remember imagined this was all deep beneath Hyrule Castle. I don't know, Hyrule Castle went pretty far down when we were in there. Oh, my sword's glowing, so that's great. Yeah, I caught that. Ever since the end of the calamity, the castle has fallen into neglect. Lady, I'm pretty sure that the castle fell into neglect 100 years before that, because nobody was living in it. I never would imagine anything like these tunnels we're hiding here. Must be careful as we move deeper. Why have you stopped talking to me? And hey, we have a full stamina wheel. There are ruins from an ancient civilization. Wait, something's written here. Might these ruins be from the Zonai? What the hell are the Zonai? These carvings. sure there's Zonai in Origins. I've seen designs like these in my studies. She's taking pictures. She's taking pictures. The Zonai are said to have lived long ago in the time of earliest legend. Not even a comment on that. They possessed godlike powers and had a prosperous civilization in the sky. Okay. Many history books tell us about the Zonai, but none give us a full picture. Much is still unknown about them. Huh. Okay. They were apparently pretty tall. Look at these. Yeah, ancient advanced civilization with magitech and or just tech. Got it. As this was the zone I looked like, they seem so much different from us and have such large ears. How did the ruins from a civilization in the sky end up beneath the castle? Looks like the path ahead goes even deeper. Thank you, R-Sprucer. I'm gonna write that down really quick. 109 broken weapons in Breath of the Wild. Believe it or not, that's actually less than I thought it was. Yeah, this is completely new. Like, I've barely even seen what we're looking at right now. I don't even know how we end up in the islands in the sky.
You're not hurt, are you, Link?
No, I got like 20 hearts. I'm fine.
Look at these murals.
But remember, they're not dating, Frieza.
The written histories of the royal family include stories of a great war fought long ago. It was a conflict between allied tribes and someone only ever referred to as the Demon King. Is it possible? Do these murals depict the same legend?
No, President Clam.
This is similar to the statues we saw earlier, a Zonai. And these figures look like Hylians.
Yeah, just glance over the giant Demon King guy.
Suggests that the Zonai descended from the heavens. It is said that my ancestors, the first of Hyrule's royal family, were born from a union with gods who had descended from the heavens. These murals tell a similar story, and if they are accurate, then the gods mentioned were the Zonai. They must have forged a relationship with the Hylians of that time, working together to establish the Kingdom of Hyrule. This figure, he seems to be stealing something of incredible power from the young kingdom.
Who could that be?
This all aligns with what I've read during my studies. And then this, it shows the Demon King. And a fierce battle against him. If the creature depicted here really does represent the Demon King, then... Oh. Incredible! This mural must be the Great War recorded in the royal histories. This is the imprisoning war, and the events that led up to it.
You had to call it that, didn't you?
This is a huge discovery. All right then. Now to use this invention of Pura's. I'm glad I didn't leave it behind.
No.
So easy to record. You point it and click. Oh.
Yeah, no, she's not freaking out.
Looks like the rest of the
She's
murals
geeking
are
out.
obscured.
The music was freaking
This
out.
place. Maybe we'll find more answers further ahead. Link, let's keep moving deeper.
Yeah, that's right. We got the bombs. Let's just go ahead and use the bombs, which I have, which are here and exist. Okay. Come on! Yeah, the shadows bleeding out of the ground are very normal. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. L doesn't do anything at all. Wow. R is to fling. Or to do a particular new type of link kinetics. Alright, work those arms. Work those arms. Sorry. You know what? Yeah, let's fling the Master Sword. Ah! Nice place. All of a sudden, we're apparently playing V Rising. Huh, they added a log.
What is that?
Zelda, I know you're geeking out, and it's actually really adorable, but, like, engage the brain for a second, please. They never disturb a mummy in any fiction. Oh yeah, I didn't need those. It's cool. It's cool. Thanks, Samus.
Link!
Was that the sword that seals the darkness?
I'm Matt Mercer.
The blade that shatters so easily against my power cannot save you from me. Zelda. You who carries that fragile sword. A Link. Raru placed his faith in you. And that was all you could do.
How do you know our names?
Say, apparently we're playing Paper Mario 1. Not that I mind. And she's dead. And he's dead. No, actually it's okay. We've got the glide, so we'll be fine. What? What? are there rocks falling from... I guess where are they falling from might be a better way to phrase that question. Yeah, if the Netherese is coming down right now, we need to get the hell out of here, because I know exactly what turned that place into a desert. Yeah, time to get a cybernetic hand. The only time they reference Link talking is actually in Breath of the Wild, and they make it clear that he does actually talk quite a bit. He just does it all off camera.
Link, finally you wake. I've heard a great deal about you from Zelda. Your wounds were severe. I am relieved to see you escape death. Your arm, however, was beyond saving. I had to replace it, lest the injury endanger you further.
Yeah, the fact that Ganondorf just one-shot the Master Sword is admittedly a little eyebrow raising. One damage. The sword that seals the darkness. Its sacred power has been diminished after being ravaged by the gloom beneath Hyrule Castle. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. You've actually already told me that. I think it actually is, because they've used the term gloom several times, and you know how they get with proper nouns. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still kind of iffy on this whole intro. Like, actually, the simplest way I can explain how I feel right now is I would be completely more on board with this if this was not a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. Like, I get that depowering is a thing. I do. But that doesn't make it better. You know what I mean? It's just, alright, here you go. Oh, you suck. Okay. Because I get it, you gotta establish the super ancient power thing and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, actually, yeah, Majora's Mask did a depowering moment and did a better job of it, for that matter. Yeah, we didn't even have a taste of power. It's just, yep, and you suck. Even Metroid Prime had a taste of power before you hit the part where you actually lose all your abilities. So yeah, let's talk about how we could do that better. You know what I would have done? I would have made that a fight. Probably not against Ganondorf himself, you know, not the mummy form, but maybe against, like, say, just random, random thoughts here. Phantom Ganon. And Phantom Ganondorf shows up and like, wah! And we're like, wah! And just it turned it into a tutorial. Yeah, let you play around with most of the kit and power that you've had back in from back in the first game. And yeah, maybe even make it a little bit of a dungeon first if you really want to flesh this out. I mean, this game was in development for a long time. So, dungeon, boss, and then go ahead and have Ganondorf be like, aha! I figured out what you're doing, and I figured out how to drain it. My arm, And then you lose the sword, and then you lose the hearts, and then you go back to being level 1, whatever. And okay, sure, you know what? I probably would have been more on board with that. As is, it feels like it shouldn't even be a you're stronger section. Like, if we were a level 1 nobody and this all happened, it wouldn't change much, you know what I mean? Yeah, maybe if there's any new enemies here, it'd be a great time to introduce new enemies so we could see the new types of creatures we're going to be fighting. In fact, what I would probably do is I'd introduce... So first you'd probably have like an existing enemy, like a moblin or whatever, and then have a new enemy plus the old enemy, and then have a room with just like 3 of the new enemies and the new tactics and new stuff you can do to fight against them. Then go against the boss, and then and then and then Zelda gets woofed away in a puff of gold. And then Vancini gives me a sub. Thank you, Vancini. Always appreciate. I will put that down for Resident Evil Block, Empire of Sin, Mass Effect, Andromeda. Admittedly, the idea of Ganondorf being that strong doesn't bother me. I'm actually one of those extremely weird people who likes it when there's a villain who is extremely high tier. See the way I usually approach Palpatine, for an example of that. One moment. Bug Fables, and Cyberpunk, and Batman Arkham. Thank you, Unicorn Scotch, as always. Much appreciate. I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I don't have a better way to put it. Oh my god, I'm still dripping water. I'm just not feeling it. I don't have a better way to phrase that. Well, I've talked about warfing before, but remember, warfing generally refers to when you do negative establishment badly. And we just got warfed pretty hard. Zelda nerding out was actually the part of the intro I rather enjoyed. Because that's in character, and that's the kind of thing I was missing in honestly, in Breath of the Wild. We only got, what, like 3 total scenes of Zelda actually, being a geek back in Breath of the Wild. So it was nice to hear her just being like, oh my god, we actually found it! The ancient ruins of Inka-Dunka-Doo! Yeah, I would not have called it the Imprisoning War. I get it. It's a different timeline. No, don't look at me that way. It's not the same timeline. I don't care what they say. I am still dripping from water. Stop dripping. Stop dripping. Ah, I'm still dripping. Ah! Yeah, no, different universe, different timeline. I don't care how much you tell me it's peach tea. I don't care. It's not peach tea. No, I've been saying this entire Zelda run, Rex. There are specific Zelda games that tie into each other. And then there's Zelda games that don't. And I'm sorry, Breath of the Wild barely connects to Skyward, and even that's debatable. Obviously, this is supposed to connect to Breath. I'm going to be curious in judging that as we go. So far, I don't actually think it connects to breath all that well. We'll see. Is that a bad thing? No. I'm sorry, I stalled on that for a long time because I was really debating that. Yeah, by the way, we're turbo dead. I know, it's a video game, so water just kills, you know, fouling damage, but yeah, we're dead. It is, so let me explain the biggest reason why the lack of connectivity is a bad thing and why it's not a bad thing. Because apparently, nobody's watched me play every Zelda game up to this one now. Yeah, exactly, Darkrai. The reason it's a bad thing is because Nintendo keeps insisting they're all part of one continuity and connecting them in ways that don't make sense. And thankfully, that doesn't really bleed off into the games themselves. Thank God. Because for the most part, the Zelda games really are just off doing their own things, and that's good. That's a good thing. And that's how it's not a bad thing, is because for the most part, it's like, yeah, oh, this is just another Zelda game that doesn't connect to the other Zelda games. Cool. The problem is the Zelda team have gone out of the games, outside of the games. They have told us time and time again that the Zelda timeline is one unified thing. They said that before they even officially released it, if you remember. They constantly talked about how they have this big document under the hood and at the team at Nintendo that they had that kept the whole timeline. What is that? Cohesive. And then they released the Hyrule Historia, which had the timeline in it. And then they released the Zelda Compendium, which had a slightly different timeline in it. And you get it, right? So, if you've been paying attention, I have given very few of these games negatives for the lack of connectivity. The only reason I say very few is I feel like we did that once, and I don't even remember the example. Because it doesn't really affect the games themselves. Sense make? Was it Spirit Tracks? I mean, we did give the negative to external continuity for Spirit Tracks, that's true, because of the way it did just threw Wind Waker out the window. What is that? How do I... Yeah, I believe Wind Waker and Twilight, actually, both got rather substantial external continuity. Oh, God, the bloom. Positives, which I stand behind. Cool. I now literally have no weapon. No, it's okay. It's okay. I've got a stick. What's an apple? Majora is what I call an indirect sequel. And I don't believe it got any external continuity positives. Off the top of my head. You can check. I document all that stuff. Is he just... He's not moving. Look at him. He's like rotating in place, but he's not actually moving. He's just sitting there. Yeah, that or he's moving excruciatingly slowly. No, I didn't count that Blade all. Cutscene stuff doesn't count for gameplay stuff. For the most part. Just ask Gamer Champ. It's a reference nobody's gonna get. The dragon's like... hello? Hi. Link, I have waited for you. Princess Zelda left something for you in my care. Hey, I can take pictures. I am told it's an invaluable tool. Okay. And yeah, we were already pretty sci-fi in Breath of the Wild. We're just embracing it now. That's not a complaint, by the way. I've said for years we need a steampunk Zelda. We also need a Western Zelda. Yeah, it's the Switch too. Switch harder. I received it from Princess Zelda. I have now passed it to you. My records indicate Princess Zelda is waiting at the location marked on its map. My message has been delivered. I'm sorry, where am I? We stand in the Garden of Time. The Temple of Time is visible from here. Is it? Because I can't see Jack. It was used in the distant past. Many rites and ceremonies of the kingdom were held there. But no more. Now it is a lonely place. No one visits. Quest advanced. I also noticed it's automatically cold up here, which I kind of find amusing. Because, you know, we're in the air and it is colder further up, so, yeah. When I compare Zelda to Final Fantasy and how they do series structure. Yes and no. The problem is, A, the Final Fantasy series doesn't pretend it's all connected, and B, there are a substantial number of Zelda games that do actually interconnect. By contrast, in Final Fantasy, it's the inverse of that. They don't pretend they're connected, and the number of connections are very much in the minority. In fact, there's only like 2, really. Hello, you seem to be new here. Be wary of the soldier constructs. I'm sorry, soldier constructs? Soldier constructs are those of us given strict orders to protect this land. The Zonai who created us directed them to eliminate trespassers. They will consider you a trespasser, too. You must treat them as a serious threat. Allow me to offer unsolicited advice. It is crucial to maintain a proper distance and swing and target your opponents. Swinging haphazardly will not yield results. Here's the lock-on button. You may practice targeting me, but please do not actually attack. Here I go. I'm not going to do that. I'm not stupid. Aw, that sucks, Frieza. I don't remember the button combo to the whistle ring glitch. It was something weird, I remember that. I had to do it like this. How does it feel so far? Not as good as the plateau. It's worth noting, the plateau is probably one of the best tutorialized sections of gaming ever. Like that I have ever seen. It is actually crazy. Crazy good. So it's bit of a thing. I mean, that's sorry, I didn't actually say that properly because I was trying to process things. What I mean by that is it's almost unfair to compare an intro to the plateau, because the plateau is just... It's the Andor of gaming intros, and I'm not even joking about that. As I gushed about constantly during the Breath of the Wild run, the plateau is one of the best designed gaming intros ever. Like, it is actually kind of crazy how well designed it is. How much depth and detail and flow and movement and guidance and open-endedness and do it your way. Like, there's a lot to do in a lot of directions in whatever order you want to, and yet there's always some kind of guide point or direction or indicator of what you can do next. There's no just sandbox problem. And I know a lot of people like the sandbox problem, but I don't. I don't like being dumped into a room with absolutely no direction and just feeling lost. I never feel lost in the plateau because there's always something indicating that something somewhere is something I can do. That's an interesting sight. Exactly. It's the correct amount of freedom. It's one of the reasons I tend to praise All Roads Lead to Road game design over true sandbox design, because All Roads Lead to Rome is, first of all, harder to design, but also, second, is more valuable to me. Hello, can I just... let's not. Let's not. Okay, fine. Hang on. Let's save. Let's do it, yeah! What's the run button? There we go. Yeah! Woo! Kill plane. I mean, I expected that. Oh, yeah, so there's a cold area. Okay. And we can't really do anything up there yet because we don't have cold protection. Yep, nope, that is officially cold. Okay, I do like the slight improvement to the HUD there. Makes it more obvious when you're cold or hot. A minor thing, but I like it. There's our food that helps us to withstand the cold. Still haven't been able to make a fire yet, and we don't have a weapon to make our own fire yet. We have to work around that. That's a good question, Lord Harrimont. Depends on several things. Having said that, I think that it would be in Larian's best interest to port it to the Switch too. And I do mean that with total sincerity. So... pretty limited inventory, so that's not great. That continues to be a problem from the first game. Sorry, someone asked a question of how this compares to just in general, not compared to like the best intro ever made. I'm not sure about that one yet because obviously we're still figuring out some of the specifics. The robotic soldiers are appropriately low tier, which I'm actually a little surprised by. Oh, yeah, speaking of which, thank you for reminding me. Oh yeah, no music. That's probably going to be a thing. Okay, now we have a fire. Ah, I roasted that, but it's yours if you want. You roast them? I had not noticed before you were unfamiliar to me. My apologies. Among my tasks is to explain anything visitors might require knowledge of. You may have questions. Please assure that a construct can answer them. I recall your questions about roasting food. It's called cooking, and we do this. And okay, cool. Yeah, just fire, which means just put... If you remember, that's kind of how we started off in Breath, too. There was just a fire, which you can put food near. Yeah, I don't know if you heard, there is a rumor, emphasis on the word rumor, that the Switch 2 is getting delayed again. If that's true, I will be legitimately shocked, though. As I've said before, the Switch 2 has already hit the point of we're mentioning it to investors. And the moment they've actually opened up to mentioning it to investors is when they're a lot more likely to try and hit that deadline. Because there are financial repercussions for lying to investors about stuff like that. I'm sorry, off the deeper end. If it makes you feel any better, as of this moment, I haven't even found the spot my niece reached. I'm not sure where the heck she went. She obviously went in a completely different direction than I did. Yeah, no, end of fiscal year is extremely likely. The question for me is what their initial lineup's going to be. And let me be very clear. Of all the things about the Switch 2... That was weird. About all the things about the Switch 2 that we don't know, that's the biggest one that's curious to me. What is going to be the launch lineup of the Switch 2? Nintendo consoles have a long-standing habit of having bad launch lineups. And I'm going to go out of my way to try and pick up a Switch 2 day of course. But yeah, like it could. We've got Pokemon Legends ZA, that's likely. Mario Kart being ported over is an easy bet. But like everything else, very, very tight-lipped. Who knows? Interesting. Sorry, I'm honestly just kind of exploring a little bit. I apologize. Let me try to... I shouldn't do that. This is already going to be a month stream. Oh yeah, Prime 4 is probably going to be a thing, too. Oh yeah, let's figure this thing out. So there's our quests. There's our question marks. There's our map, such as it is. Probably going to give the same map pluses that we did in Breath of the Wild, like exactly the same map pluses. Well, we know that we know that the 3D Mario team is different from the 2D Mario team, and they've been quiet ever since Odyssey, and Odyssey was a while ago. It would not surprise me if they've been working on a 3D Mario. And yeah, there's the picture she took. That's actually cute. That's actually cute that it remembered the pictures. I'm actually going with that. Star what now, Milker? 2017. There you go. So they have been working on a new 3D Mario game for 7 years. Now, unlike some companies, I take that as a good sign. Because Nintendo do. Like, they have just such a proven track record of every time they actually sit down and take their time, they tend to put out some quality. Where the hell did my niece go? Because she did not go this way. There's like a lake she had to cross with a ship, and there was like one of those mine things. Like a mine cart rail. Look, Jesse Ward, I'm sorry. I hope that Dragon Age 4 is a good game. Probably more than most people do. I'm just too much of a realist to believe that, you know? Yeah, she might have dropped down to a different island. I don't know. Jesus Christ, Silk Song. Yeah, Nintendo continues to be the freak company. It really is fascinating how different they are on so many levels than other companies. When is Space Marine 2 coming out, anyways? Let me adjust that question. Do we have a release date? Next month. Oh, wow, it's way sooner than I thought. We actually got a sword. Rusty, but still. Yeah, the health beetle leap is not particularly bad. As expected, honestly. Nice Zen garden out here. Ha! Lol, Melkor. Yeah, let's eat some apple here. Oh, who knows, Dakota? I'll admit, I don't have a lot of hope right now for Star Wars Outlaws, but that's mostly cynicism speaking. I think they're going to play it too safe.
The door will open only to those with sufficient power. I'm sorry. I did not intend to startle you. It was I that spoke to you earlier. That arm originally belonged to me. I am Raru.
Hi.
Forgive me for appearing to you in this manner. Unfortunately, I no longer have a physical form.
It's better than an owl, dude.
In any case, that arm should allow you to open this door. It seems to have lost the power to do so. You might be able to restore it, but you would need to enter a place filled with sacred light. Ah, of course. Why not visit the shrines on this island? The shrines. Yes, I am sure they are the key.
Okay. Thank you very much, Narset. Always appreciate. Much obliged. And I'll put that towards Dungeon Siege 2, Persona 3R, and the Heaven's Vault. Which is a good time as any to talk about a question someone asked. Do I think that Echoes of Wisdom is going to get funded before it comes out? Based on the fact that every donation I've gotten over the last, like, month or so hasn't included Echoes of Wisdom, probably not. I am actually a little bit surprised at the relative lack of interest in the game, but that's okay. No judgment. Can't see either. People have been donating towards Dragon Age 4 for, like, God, a couple years at this point, Narsa. Interesting. No, I did not see your question. Oh, you think what I think of his character design? I don't know. What do you think of his character design? Yeah, Dragon Age 4. They call it Veilguard, but to be very clear, I'm never going to call it anything other than Dragon Age 4 because it is the 4th Dragon Age game. Yeah, the ears are an interesting look. Interesting. Yeah, that thing. That's where she was. Yeah, where does that go? Aha! And there's the raft. Right over there. So that's where she was. She went down that thing. She figured out how to get down that thing. And then she was figuring out how to get that raft working and then go across like some kind of lake thing over there. Possibly that one over there. I don't know. Sorry. My niece has a strong tendency to look at the MSQ and then go in any other direction whatsoever. I have a pretty good visual memory. I don't know what you call that. I guess that's just visual memory. It's one of the only types of memory I have that's particularly good. That and audio. I mean, most people do non-MSQ stuff first. That is the default approach.
Ah.
So now that we don't have the blinding glare of the sun, I can get a better look at him. I like his outfit. It has too many details on it, but I like the cut of it. And it complements his overall body shape. This is a shrine of light. Long ago I filled these places with light that purges evil. I believe this light will restore an ability your right arm has lost. Now extend your hand. I have something weird when it comes to faces. The moment I can recognize a face instantly, and I can recognize a person almost immediately, even if I haven't seen them in years and years and years. But if I try to conjure an image of someone's face in my head, just like from memory, it's extremely hard to do. This is Ultra Hand. It allows you to move objects and attach them to other objects. You can build a number of things. Really, anything you can imagine. I don't know, can I build a giant whirling mecha that has flamethrowers for arms? Yes, I can. Yeah, so Magnesis upgrade. Will I, though? I don't know. When they first announced this game, I actually made the comment that I pictured half the stream would just be us building random crap. We'll see. Interesting. Listen, if YouTube can't complain, what can they do, honestly? Ah. It's too big. It's too big, Master Yoda. Hey, Dark Day. Streaminations went reasonably well. Faster than expected, but also slightly on schedule. 3 weeks to the day, actually. I'm glad people liked Tangled, because Lord knows I wasn't sure people were going to. A decent number of people showed up for Arcane, but not that many, honestly, no. The one that really had a lot of people show up for it. Can you guess? Can you guess? Yeah, no, it was Donkey Kong Country. It was Donkey Kong Country. No, the two that we had the least viewers for by far were The Mandalorian and Tangled. Yeah, almost nobody showed up for Mando. It was kind of strange. Like, no offense, but I understand why few people showed up for Tangled, because that show was sabotaged to hell and back, so most people aren't even aware it even exists. But I figured people would show up for Mando, because that's the popular one. That's the linchpin of the Star Wars television strategy. Well, I'll take that, Lord Harriman. Little wins. Little wins. Yeah, no, we actually had quite a few people show up for Andor. Andor and Arcane both got pretty decent viewing numbers. They were just both dwarfed by DKC. And when I say dwarfed, I mean by like double. I don't know. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. You did very well getting through that shrine, and you've restored an ability. This is wonderful. If you visit and complete 2 more shrines, you should be able to open the door to the Temple of Time. You may want to mark the shrines in Istanbul, Kiyami Togashke. I will try very hard not to oversell Andor, so all I will say is that I recommend playing it because it is a good show. And by playing it, I mean watching it. Because it is. It's a good show. I recommend it. It's all you're going to get out of me. I also recommend Arcane. It's a good show. And again, that's all you're getting out of me. I've noticed that so some of you are aware of the fact that I'm going through a Star Trek lore run right now. And we're currently in the middle of Voyager. And right, I don't have the glider. A friend of a friend pretty much flat out said, "Why are you going through Voyager? Voyager sucks. And Voyager isn't even worth watching." Now, if you know me, you know I already am not in favor of that particular opinion, but I bring it up specifically because I've noticed that when most people give recommendations, for lack of a better way to put this, they don't think about it. They don't put time and thought into exactly what those recommendations mean, or what the person in question likes, or honestly anything. They just say, "Ah, it's crap," or "Yeah, no, it's the best thing ever," and that's kind of like it. Like that's all. No, it didn't break. It didn't break, although I'm about to break it. And they just say, you know, and they just lean into that, and they don't actually give a recommendation. And I have to occasionally remind people that I put thought and effort into my recommendations, because so that people know that I am not doing that, right? That I am not doing what I just described. There's a reason why I've had that standardized recommendation for over a decade at this point, that you should start Star Trek with TNG Season 3. First episode, Evolution. And if you like that, there's a pretty decent chance you like Star Trek. There you go, boom. But that is an opinion that has been built up and thought about for, again, years. Why is that the cancel button? Oh god. Okay, wait, no, I was trying. Don't clip that. Of the shows I've covered, how many would I recommend? Now that is an interesting statement. Do you mean in a specific case in which I think the recommendation would be valid? Or do you mean blanket show that I would recommend to literally everybody? Yeah, no, I've used FF4 as the seminal Final Fantasy for years as well. Blanket. Let's see. Would I recommend any of the shows I have covered? Blanket. Probably not, no, honestly. So I guess the answer would be 0. Well, the controls are definitely something I'm getting used to, Act. Yeah, exactly, Jesse Ward. You get it immediately. MLP is a very high-quality show, but I'm not going to recommend it to everyone because it's just not going to be for everyone. Same thing with TNG, or Deep Space Nine, or Babylon 5, or Farscape, or Futurama, or Young Justice, or Clone Wars, or Rebels, or Bluey, or even Andor or Arcane. Not everyone's going to be into the same things because just that's people. I see they're still at work even now. We originally created the constructs to assist in our endeavors. All of us were fond of them. I never imagined they would continue to carry out their assigned tasks to this day. The fact that they labor no longer serves any purpose, yet they still perform it is disquieting to me. Yeah, it should be. Also, nice hair? Like, what kind of conditioner are you using? Asking for a friend. Also, axe. I have to get rid of the twig soon. Fix your gaze forward. Face it head on. Pardon me. I was absorbed in my wood cutting. Wood cutting? Wood cutting is the practice of chopping down lines. Tutorial. Yeah, he's using God conditioner. Yeah, remember, canonically, Sephiroth uses an entire bottle of conditioner every day. Yes, really. Yeah, I'm not actually joking. That actually is in, Crisis Core, specifically. Now, I should mention that's pre-villain Sephiroth. But pre-villain Sephiroth is like, basically rich. As the super elite soldier of Shinra. So he could probably afford to have entire things of conditioner ready at his beck and call. Interesting setup. So we've got the logs. Pushing logs takes stamina. Yeah, villain Sephiroth uses 2 bottles! Sorry. We've got some basic resources around here. We've also got just a little bit of ruins. Plenty of stuff we can knock over. Given us an axe. They've also given us logs we can just straight up use. Everything takes stamina. I mean, again, that was one of the things Breath of the Wild got right, using stamina as a progression meter. There's another axe. I'll have to remember where that is. The shampoo company's like, yeah, he's trying to destroy all life on the planet, but honestly, have you seen that hair? Yeah, I saw the lag spike there. No, we didn't even finish the first episode of Year of Hell because I wasted too much of our time looking at TNG. That's my fault. But, we are, like, 2/3 of the way through the first episode of Year of Hell. Weirdly high quality. I'm already predicting a purple for it. What the hell was that? Yeah, part 1's weirdly high quality. We'll see what we think of part 2 when we get there. Like I said, there's just general white writing quality was higher than normal for Trek in Year of Hell Part 1. I don't mean to sound unkind with that statement, but I don't have a better way to phrase it. I keep forgetting I don't have the glider. It is so automatic to be playing this game, and just I see like a thing I can jump off, and I'm like, yep. Whee. Like it's right. It's just such an automatic thing. All right, so. Bluey is definitely an extremely high-quality kids show. And I mean that. What's really weird about Bluey, though, is it is actually a kids show in the manner that we have usually described. But also somehow manages to be a show for parents. Not adults, it's worth noting. Parents. Yeah, I've seen all of Bluey pretty much by consequence of my nieces. And yeah, I will freely admit, and without any kind of shame, that Bluey has actually made me cry. The silly kind of cry, right? The sentimental cry, not the sad cry. There we go. Well, Bluey, again, is actually a kid's show, unlike MLP. But it's worth noting that Bluey is, like I said, it's weirdly high quality. It's an Australian show. They employ actual children actors, but somehow they do a really good job of it. Oh, yeah, the child actors are weirdly good. Like, it's so strange. The show is such a freak of nature. Let me give you an example. There's this one bit where the whole thrust of the episode... Oh, also, it's an 11. You've probably never even seen 11s, or if you have, you probably haven't even processed it, because we've talked about 44s and 22s, so you can guess what an 11 is based on context. 11 is... So it's very, very, very short tidbits. But... Interesting. One of the episodes was all about how one of the kids had finally learned how to start walking. And it was mostly a series of flashbacks about all of the adventures of trying to get the kid, the baby, to learn how to walk. And there's finally this one last bit where he's like, wait, you never actually told us the answer. When did he finally start walking? And it cuts to a flashback of the kid slowly getting up. Interesting. Slowly getting up and starting to walk. And they're like, what did it? Why did he finally start walking? He's like, oh, he must have seen something he really wanted. And it cuts to the shot. Yeah, no, it's such a great shot, isn't it? It cuts to the shot of the little kid getting up to walk to his mother. And I know in chat, half of you are like, huh? But I bet the other half of you right now are just like, ah! Because it was so perfect. It was so adorable. And it was played exactly straight. There was no winking at the camera. There was no ha-ha playing it for a joke. It was just there to be... I don't know what word to use. I'm actually not sure what adjective to use there. Whatever it was, it worked. Can I just, like, put it there? Wholesome. That's a good word. I also like heartwarming. But wholesome's a good word. Okay, so I can just place... Okay. Yeah, it's also realistically adorable. Speaking from experience, kids can be astonishingly adorable. Oh, Lord. So my eldest niece, she was crazy fast. And she would just scoot on the ground. Like, with one hand. Like, she'd just shove herself forward, scooch forward, shove herself forward, scooch forward, and she'd just do this. And she would move crazy fast. Like, you'd have to run to keep up with her. Okay. So the value of figuring out this little tutorial was getting some amber. I hope amber is useful at some point. Anyways, that's Bluey in a nutshell. It is very much a parents' show that also happens to be a kids' show. Yeah, I've heard a lot of Twitch lag complaints lately, and that's really frustrating because, for those of you not aware, I've actually turned on the transcoding on my end. Point in fact, I'm actually pushing up 10,000 right now because that's what's required for that transcoding. Now, I don't have any blips. I have 0 dropped frames right now. For those of you not aware, it's a recent option. And the way it works is, so transcoding is usually done on Twitch's end. But they have recently offered up that if you have the GPU to handle it, you can handle the transcoding on your end. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm uploading the 1080p version of this, which is default, right? That's innate. Or native, excuse me. And then I'm also uploading like a 720p version of this and a 480p version of this all at the same time. So if you push it down to a lower quality, I'm still uploading that directly, and that should, hypothetically, smooth out the overall experience. Now, this is Twitch, so who knows how much of that's actually true. But I have turned that on, and I have been watching it carefully. No issues with it on my end so far. We'll see if it's actually worth a damn to you guys. Yeah, this exactly, Lord Hilma. That's exactly the idea. Could also just be a where am I? What is that? Oh, that's a warp point. Right, I should track down fast travel because that's probably going to be a thing. You know what's really going to suck? If that Google anti-monopoly thing goes through and they use it as an excuse to make things like Twitch worse. My next batch will also be tasty. Oh, an actual cooking pot. Yes, tell me about cooking. Is it still as irritating as it used to be? Irritating and awesome. That's the really frustrating part. Because it's... Remember, we had that whole thing last time. It was like, this is such a great thing, but in order to do it, we have to do this. New. Okay. Holy crap. Honest to God recipes. Now, can I then craft with a recipe, or is this just a reference? Because reference is nice, don't mistake me, but, like, crafting from a recipe would be great. Recipe, I'm just going to put down a question mark here, because I think that was actually a negative I gave rather than a positive. And then cooking. And then cooking. Inventory space. I'm just putting down a bunch of question marks here. I'm probably going to spend my lunch break looking at the Breath of the Wild review. And copy-pasting a few times. I have noticed a few minor but good interface changes so far. Yeah, I haven't really poked at fighting yet, not in any substantial sense. Because he was shooting me. Ah, someone else is shooting at me. That's what's going on here. Yeah, I've noticed, I mean, if you pay attention to the Breath of the Wild speedruns, the majority of it is spent solving the plateau. Once the plateau is a solved problem, it's just, zoom to the actually hard part. Oh, some arrows. Ah, excuse me. A bow, though. Yeah, I've noticed the hand imagery all over the place. They like their iconography in Zelda games. There's our bow. So far, stamina is more or less the same thing it was last time. Opal contains the power of water? That's interesting. Well, we almost died right there. That's the second time I've tried that and failed at it. Yeah, I'm curious what the penalty for failure is too, so why don't we go ahead and pop a save. I mean, that's how I noticed that one, Frieza. Yeah, so there's the raft thing. Oh, no! Dead forever. Looks like it's just back to last save. So, nothing fancy. I'm pretty sure there's autosaves. But I learned from the last game not to rely on those, because they're very infrequent. Oh, quite a few Shadow Machine. In fact, I've taken falling damage several times already, because I sort of forgot that I don't have it. Doesn't even list it. Oh, here we go. There's our autosaves. Okay, so we've got multiple autosaves. There we go. Hold on, what? Oh, that's just tutorial, yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure we do not have multiple save slots, just like the previous time. Oh, that's why. I'm stupid. Oh. Okay. See, I'm pretty sure this is one of those, you don't have enough stamina at the start to get across kind of a deals. And of course, the wind is very obviously blowing in that direction. And there's a guy here trying to kill me. Aw, but... I notice there's still no indicators of durability. Listen, Blade-Trevall, just... It was just an idea. It was just an idea. Agreed, Missy Ward. And yeah, now that we don't have the blinding sun, as usual, the lighting effects start to actually look decent. Go figure. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This is as far as my niece got right here, by the way. It took her actually a decent amount of time to get across this section, because she was just having issues with the controls. Not blaming her on that, just she was having issues with the controls. What is with Twitch dropping messages? That's the fourth person, I think, who's told me today that she's having trouble, well, that they're having trouble with Twitch messages. Hell, 4 might be underselling it. Jesus. Get your act together, Twitch. Thank you, Trafin. Always appreciate. Hey, you put it towards Zelda. Yeah, Monopoly means you don't have to try. Which is just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need to ditch Twitch. For what? Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And the Resident Evil block. Done. Thank you again, Faithin, very, very much. From Pornhub. Alright, everyone. We're going to start streaming Zelda on Pornhub. Every donation means one more piece of clothing taken off. Oh god, I heard about that. So for those of you not aware, one other really dumb thing happening right now in this country is that several states are starting to shut down on porn. Of all things. Like, I'll say this before and I'll say it again. Of all battles to pick, what? So you made it here. Now then, extend your right hand. And people wonder why I want to leave this country. Fuse. Attach something to an equipped weapon. Aha! You can undo the fusion, but it'll destroy whatever's been attached. No! This is the fuse ability. It allows you to fuse something nearby to your weapon or shield, thereby enhancing it. Okay. You know, speaking as a long-standing prude, Bionic Punk, I agree completely. This country has always been weird about pornographic things. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Nudity is not inherently pornographic. Neither is being clothed inherently not pornographic. Oh, that's an interesting interface. Ooh, okay, hang on. Going after porn is just an easy thing to do. As weird as that probably sounds. Like someone said in chat, it's kind of a distraction thing. But also, I can't think of the words. It's one of those things. Yes, it is, Meatfist. It's one of those things where it's popular to go after porn. Yeah, exactly. It's the lazy thing to go after, right? And yeah, Ina Misho is correct. They're going after the lazy things because I'm against degeneracy and I'm against these vile, filthy things. And it's like, you... What? And they get some votes because this is an election year. Yeah, it's virtue signaling. Thank you. That was actually the phrase I was trying to think of earlier. It's virtue signaling. It's not actually doing anything. And yeah, nobody's going to speak up in favor of porn. Like, honestly. Okay, so... That is not how I imagined that interface would go. That is wild. Yeah, the other side of it, and I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but we did promise to talk about politics today. I'll only cover this very, very briefly. Is that if we outlaw porn and then we have to define porn and we define things we don't like as porn, then we have outlawed things we don't like without having to outlaw the things we don't like. This is a fairly common strategy, actually. Yeah, we're not going to do such and such. We're going to do this other thing. Oh, by the way, such and such qualifies as this other thing. Boom. How am I just carrying this around? Yeah, I've just got a lollipop going around. Yeah, Twitch really seems to be dropping messages. This is kind of crazy. We have to set up a private IRC again. Okay, so... That's true, I do have a literal magic hand. Interesting. And I do like how they make sure the target area is a nice big thing that is flammable to absolutely make sure that it is going to, it's going to hit, even if you don't hit it head on. It was during Tangled. Later, it was very recent. I was having issues getting it working because it required a driver update. And I don't like to do those if I can avoid it. I'm going to be honest, I can't imagine how that would be responsible for the messages being eaten, but we could try that. So tell you what, when we come back... yeah, exactly. When we come back from the break, from the lunch break, I'll go ahead and turn that off. And we'll see. Because, yeah. Now, what's going to be really frustrating is if I turn that feature off, and then whatever is actually wrong fixes itself. And so we all assume the situation is now fixed. Interesting music. Jesus, okay, okay. Let's not die here. So far, I'm not sure what I think of the music. And there's that wonderful inventory problem. Is it better than that stupid music in Breath of the Shrine music in Breath of the Wild? Yes. Will I be sick of it after the next 3 weeks of playing this one game over and over and over? Ask me again in about 3 weeks. Not nearly enough, Savacom. Only one. You know what? Hang on. I changed my mind. Let's do it right now. So I apologize to my YouTube viewers. This is going to make a bit of a weird thing. I'm going to shut down now, turn it off, and start it back up. Because we're clearly having issues right now, right? So let's see if the transcoding helps now.